Channel 3's Caroline Corrigan shows us how organizers are trying to bring live music back in a safe way.
Typically, the Caverns would offer you that unique experience where you could watch your favorite artist or band right here underground. And usually this entire cave would be filled with people, but that hasn't been the case because of COVID-19. Now organizers tell me they're trying to bring back music once again in a different way. It's a sight for sore eyes, especially for concert goers. Crews are setting up the stage at the Caverns for the first show of the spring season. General Manager Joe Lurgio says they were forced to close their iconic cave for shows last year. Unlike other businesses, takeout or delivery was not an option.
We literally were shut down a year ago today, and the doors were locked and there was no options really to do anything. So, our overhead bills just kept coming in.
So they decided to think outside the box, or outside the cave. They built this new amphitheater above the cave to bring back live music. He says people can buy tickets for their group to sit in pods.
Everybody gets 10 square feet of space inside their pod, which is plenty of space. You bring your own cheer. We actually have concessions and merchandise get delivered right to your pod. So it's a VIP experience for everybody. Nobody has a bad seat.
While they plan to return to the cave eventually, he says they plan to keep this amphitheater.
Forever we'll have this beautiful amphitheater. They say you can make lemonade out of lemons, and that's kind of how we view this amphitheater.
Friday's show will feature the band Need to Breathe. Tickets are already sold out, but there are more than a dozen other shows lined up for the spring season. Reporting in Pelham, Caroline Corrigan, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Great for that business for being creative and thinking outside the box. Speaking of businesses and the pandemic, we never know when a crisis like the pandemic will happen. That's why the Enterprise Center now has a new tool to help small businesses be prepared for an emergency. It's called the Resiliency Checklist. There's even a special section to help people apply for PPP.
And it starts off with asking you questions about your organization, like if you have employees or what sector you're in. And with those questions, it builds a checklist. So inside of that list, it has different areas of focus. We even have an area for the PPP funding right now that will be until March 31st, I believe.
Kimbrough says it is important for people to remember to always have the proper paperwork and documents handy. The checklist walks you through what you need to have.
Tennessee Governor Bill Lee is welcoming spring breakers to the state. In this post on Facebook, the governor says there's reason it's the #1 tourist destination in the U.S. and that, quote, we're open for business. Governor Lee says he's looking forward to visitors receiving the Tennessee experience. In Hamilton County, the health department has added new first dose COVID-19 vaccine appointments. The dates will include March 16th and 17th at Enterprise South Nature Park. Tennessee River Park and the Carter Bus Barn also have availability on March 17th. For more information on your eligibility and how to set up your appointment, visit our website, WRCBTV.com.
Different variants of the coronavirus have been identified in just about every state across the country. U.S. health officials say there are 2 ways to combat those variants. Mandy Gaither has more.
In the war on COVID-19, there are still plenty of questions, including how long vaccines last and do they work against the highly contagious coronavirus variants.
While we are starting to see emerging evidence that the vaccines remain effective against circulating variants and that the risk of breakthrough infections in vaccinated persons and spreading the virus to others is low, we must be resolute in our efforts to fully answer these critical questions.
All 3 companies with vaccines now authorized in the U.S. are working to make sure their product provides protection against the variants. This week, Moderna announced the first participants have received its modified COVID-19 vaccines designed as potential boosters. In the battle against the variants, 2 strategies are now being pursued in the U.S. Vaccinated people could get specific booster shots against each variant that crops up, or get a shot that offers protection against several variants.
Here is the challenge. Are we going to chase each variant in an almost whack-a-mole way, or are we going to try and get a vaccine that has a good degree of cross protection against several and get the level of virus so low that we don't really have an outbreak proportion?
And all that hinges on more Americans getting their COVID-19 vaccines.
We ask for your participation by rolling up your sleeve when it is your turn to be vaccinated. And we ask for your leadership in helping others do both of the same.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Moderna says they hope to have results on a COVID-19 vaccine booster by May or possibly even earlier.
The Net Resource Center is in need of volunteers. We'll tell you about the project they're working on to help people in Chattanooga sit back and relax.
And don't forget, we lose an hour of sleep this weekend. We spring forward on Saturday night. I have some seasonal checklists for you, what you can get done this weekend, because overall, it is going to be quiet in the weather department. We'll have your weekend planner next.
Channel 3 Eyewitness News Traffic presented by CHM Memorial. Human kindness is going beyond for others. It's about showing kindness and a willingness to help those who may not be able to help.
Traffic, get ready for it to move through the downtown area. I-24 east and westbound seeing delays, especially headed through that ridge cut between the 27 and 75 splits. Crews working to get an accident out of the way. Brainerd Road at McCauley, also working to clear one North Market at West Manning. From the US 101 Information Center, it's Mo with your Eyewitness News Traffic.
Thank you, Mo. A local organization is asking the community to come out to help beautify one South Chattanooga neighborhood this weekend. The Net Resource Foundation is looking for volunteers to help plant trees for the Hughes Project that will help beautify a portion of Alton Park. They are also looking for businesses, organizations, or even individuals to sponsor benches in the park.
The benches will go in the open space as well as the community garden. So we want the garden to have that meditation effect as well, where we're going to add additional beds, and then we'll have a space just for people to sit and relax and enjoy nature right here in our urban core.
The volunteer opportunity takes place tomorrow from 9 until noon.
A consumer warning: scammers are taking advantage of the COVID-19 vaccine to trick people. I'm Jamie Tucker. Coming up, we're going to show you what these scams look like and how to protect yourself and your family members.